So today I was reading the story of Moses and Joshua, where God was telling Moses that he's not going to see the promised land, but he's going to die where they were. And he was further telling Moses that he's supposed to teach Joshua about how to lead while he's gone. And when I was reading it, I was feeling sorry for Moses, because the reason why he couldn't go, it's because of the Israelites. The way they kept on complaining, then he forgot to obey God. But now here, he's not going to go. Okay, that's another issue. Mara, the reason why I'm sharing this story is because of the topic I have for today. Jealousy. I think so many of us, we are willing to talk about all the emotions except this one. Like, we don't even acknowledge that we sometimes feel it. But the reality is that as a human being, there are going to be circumstances, situations where you are going to feel jealous, either for your friend or your spouse or your partner or whoever, because life has no manual. I love saying we are just winging it. There will be times in your life where, despite your best efforts, your hard work, someone is going to do better than you. Someone is going to win more than you, or it's going to look like things are more easier for them than they were for you. One of the things I'm learning to accept is that because of the experience and the resources that I have, that when I'm helping someone else, there is a possibility that they are going to pass me on the way. There is a possibility that on their journey is going to be easier than mine because they have me. And as much as it's a good thing, but I had to battle with my feelings. I had to talk to God about it, where when you help someone else and then next thing you see them doing greater than you, or you see them, it seems like they are doing better than you. How does it make you feel? I hate that as a society, we have made it so difficult for people to admit their true feelings. And we have labeled their feelings in a negative way, instead of creating a safe space where people can be honest enough and acknowledge what they are feeling, then deal with the reason, why am I feeling like this? I'm just going to use a practical example. I think I've been here on YouTube for 3 or 4 months, somewhere there, started in November. Obviously, and I'm seeing my progress and I see where I'm going. But there are people who've been here longer than me. So if someone is looking at me and they're like, how she just started now, but already she has so many subscribers. If it makes you feel bad, it does not mean that you are a bad person. It is normal for that feeling to come. What is important is what you do with that feeling. Instead of dismissing it or acting as if it's not there, you need to acknowledge it. Sit with that feeling. Sit with it. Why am I feeling like this? Then after that, try to find the reason behind it. Once you deal with it, talk to someone else. I've got people I talk to when I'm feeling a kind of way, or when I'm feeling like, no, this is not me. I know that I'm someone who celebrates people. I know that I'm someone who helps people. But what I'm feeling right now is like, I'm feeling threatened, or I feel like I want to compete with someone, or I'm feeling insecure about my place. There are people that I talk to about my feelings. And one thing I know, once you confess it, it no longer holds power over you. But if you are going to try to pretend that you are okay when you are not okay, every time you see Joey, you will be triggered. I'm just using myself. Every time you see me, you will be triggered. Every time someone talks about me, you will get annoyed. You will start finding mistakes with who I am, because you are not dealing with what's really happening in you. And I wish as a society we can be so honest about this feeling, that all of us experience jealousy. somewhere in our lives. Like, it happens. It's not like you are looking for it. It's not like, oh, I'm looking around, jealousy, where are you? I'm looking for you. Where can I? No, it's going to happen, because there is none of us who's saying, I don't want to grow. We all want to grow. We all want to go to the next level. We all have goals, and we are encouraged to set goals. But the truth is that sometimes your goals, they are not going to come at the time that you wanted them to. And it's not easy to see some people living the life that you wanted, or to see some people reaching goals that you wanted for yourself. It's okay for you to feel bad. It's okay for you to feel sad. And do not bully yourself for feeling those feelings. And I think social media, I love social media, but it can be such a challenging place to be in, because as we all know, we share the highlights. We share the highlights of our lives, and it's very easy to compare your life to mine, because you are only seeing the highlights. You don't know what's happening behind. And no, we are not being fake. Nah, I'm just saying there are people where I share everything that's happening with me, but I'm not going to be, I don't walk around in the street saying, hey, I just fought with my husband to everyone. But I will call my friends and tell them that, hi, I just fought with my husband, because I trust them. They know me. And I think sometimes it's wrong to expect people, just because they are online, that they are supposed to speak about all these things. So if you feel insecure about where you are, and you start comparing with yourself with other people, please acknowledge your feelings. Do not dismiss them. Sit with them. Try to find out, why are you feeling that way? Then after that, confess your feelings to someone you trust. Talk to them. Then after you do that, try to find a way of being inspired by that person's story. Try to see, what is it that they are doing that I'm not doing, instead of seeing it in a negative light. And accept. There is power in accepting that there will always be someone who's doing better than you. There will always be someone who has an easier way than you. There will always be someone, it's like life is just happening for them. And is it fair? No, it is not fair. But unfortunately, there is nothing that you can do about it besides focusing on your own journey and working with the resources that you have. Mara, do not bully yourself and make yourself feel like you are a bad person. As I've said, I've got an NGO where I work with young people, and I always say to them that whatever achievements I have, they must go beyond what I have. Even for my kids, this is just the foundation. Their story should be greater than mine. And the truth is that there will be a day where a small voice, I guess Satan is always busy, a small voice will come and say, how, Joey? But when you didn't reach this, or when at this level you had not come to that. At that time, just remember, sometimes being the pioneer, being the one who starts things, sometimes it means that you are not going to reach that level, and it's okay. Sometimes you are the one who's sleeping for them behind the scenes, and it's okay. Maybe that is how God designed it, for you to be the supporter, for you to be the encourager. And I think sometimes as a society, we make it seem as if there is something wrong when you are number 2 or number 3, that all of us must be number 1. But the reality is that all of us are not going to be number 1. And there is nothing wrong with all of us not being number 1, because we are not wired the same. We are not gifted the same. And we need to embrace that truth, and we need to teach it to our kids. I remember one time Tiamo was angry because he was not chosen. They were playing. There was a play at school and he was not the main character, and he came back. He's like, no, I'm not going to go. I'm like, why? He says, because I'm not the main character. And I had to sit down with him and explain that, okay, I'm sorry that you're not the main character, But baby, we are gifted in the same way, and not in the same way, and not everything is a competition. You can go and just have fun with your friends and enjoy yourself. So now you are choosing not to be part of it because you feel like you should have been the main character. Luckily for me, he went back and he practiced and he really enjoyed himself. After the play, he was like, yo mama, thank you so much for encouraging me to go. Imagine, he would have missed out simply because he was not number one. Mara, at the end, once he allowed himself to enjoy, he enjoyed himself, you know. And I hope that this encourages us, I'm including myself, to know that it's okay not to be number one. It's okay to celebrate that other people are number one and it's good. And to flourish where we are. When you are number two, flourish there in that role and celebrate that role and do your best, excel in it, you know. And in those days where the devil comes and says, why are you not number one? There's something wrong with him. Remind him that you know who you are. And your purpose is not only about numbers, but it's about the impact that you are giving. So I hope that you will have this conversation with yourself. Don't bully yourself. Don't shy away from the feeling. It's quite normal to feel that feeling, to have jealousy sometimes. But what's important is what do you do with it when it happens? And what do you do? Because it's going to happen, but some people are just going to have it easy. It's life. And we need to make peace with it. Okay, let me know, how do you feel about this topic? Have you experienced it? How do you deal with it? Do you have people that you know you can talk to? And I think this is going to help us because I hate the fact that we don't talk about things, then we go around hating each other because we are not being honest. And I know it's not an easy conversation, Mara, we should start normalizing it. Thank you so much for watching until so far. Thank you so much for watching until so far. Don't forget to share this video with someone that you love and you feel like they might benefit from it. Bye.